Hi, I'm Batu from freefincal, and that's my kid talking about the history of money in his own channel. I'll link it right here and down below. Please do have a look. So we're going to talk about how much should I invest each month this time, and like he said, it's very important in our lives. And this is a question that I keep asking everybody, and I love asking this question in my talks, and also I just asked this question. I probably twice I asked this recently in Facebook group Asan Ideas of Wealth, and we will call this as the IE ratio. What is your investments divided by expenses ratio? So let's call your expenses as anything excluding any loan EMIs. So take your expenses, remove all loan EMIs from it. If you want, you can remove rent from it as well. If you think that you're going to get a house at a later point in time to live in, you can remove the rent as well. You can remove school fee, tuition fee, anything. So you're going to have only those expenses that are going to be with you lifelong. So those are mandatory expenses, and that's called E. And let's call I as the investments that you're going to make for your long-term goals greater than 5 years. For this I, you can include the mandatory EPF for pension deduction that you have from your employer, whatever it is. And once you do that, what is I by E? What is your investments divided by expenses? Let's call this the IE ratio for this video. So please find out what this is. You can pause the video, take a moment to think about it, find out what it is, and then move on. I had talked about this in Facebook group Asan Ideas of Wealth, and I had started a poll on this, excuse me, and there were not many participants because probably they didn't like the lack of anonymity. But out of those who participated, many of them did have a very good IE ratio. So what is the ideal IE ratio? So you need to, if you go by the book, and if you use any retirement calculator which has got reasonable numbers without any fancy numbers like 4% inflation, 18% return from equity, and that kind of stupid numbers, anything with reasonable conservative numbers, then you will find that the amount you need to invest for retirement month after month will be 75% to 100% of the mandatory expenses of that you have currently. So 75 to 100% of your mandatory expenses will be needed just for retirement alone. And if you have kids, then you will have to add approximately ballpark 25% of your mandatory expenses per kid you have to add as your investment. So that's what I would call as the ideal ratio. This should be maintained whether you have loans or not, whatever other expenses you have or not. That's what I would like to call as the ideal I by E. Many people who are watching this may not have this kind of I by E. If you do, then wonderful, then you are on the right track, there's no problem. I'm fairly sure that you have a more than decent chance of your future goals getting achieved, but it doesn't matter if you're investing less now. Don't worry, this is just to tell you you're here now, you must go a little bit higher even if you don't get to that much higher. So how does this help? How does the IE ratio help? Now the first thing is, if you have a friend who has got a I by E ratio which is very low, and the person does not have any loans or any kind, then there's a spending problem. Then they're simply wasting money, they're not investing, they're not worrying about investing. Then you should talk to them and make them see the light. If you yourself, many of you may have this problem, I don't know, but probably not regular viewers of freefincal, but other people who are new, you can find out this I by E ratio for them or ask them to find it. And if it's low, by low I mean less than 30%, I will define as low. That's my definition of a low. High is anything, it doesn't matter. And if the I by E is less than 30% with unnecessary loans like buying mobile phones on EMIs and this and that kind of unnecessary loans, then again there's a spending problem. Recurring, once it's okay, but if you just buy it every year, every other product, then it's a problem, then it's a spending problem. So you have to address that. If the ratio is low because of a car loan or a home loan, that's fine, it's no problem, but please target in future when your I by E will increase. So what is your plan to pay off this loan? How are you going to do it? What is your future increase in income expected? because of bonuses, because of salary hike, because of promotions, and so on, because you have started additional sources of income, etc., etc. Whatever it is, have a target date to increase this I by E ratio. My strong advice is to seriously think about additional sources of income. I have a series called Monday Money Mantra. You can search for. I have some videos on making money online. You can talk about that. I have stopped it for temporarily, but I'll restart it again if there is more interest in it. Let me see. So you must have some plan to increase this investments in future so that your IE ratio increases. How does this help? Again, let's talk about this in a futuristic way. Suppose suppose you are interested in taking a home loan, or you're interested in taking a car loan. Find out what your current IE ratio is, and find out what your IE ratio will be when you are actually paying the necessary EMI. If the IE ratio drops to 30% or something lower than that, when you are having the loan, up to 30% you can sort of manage, but below 30%, if it goes with that loan, then you should probably wait before you are having before you take on that loan. So you must so some kind of perspective like this it can have, but even 30% is still kind of low only. But well, sometimes we need a house, we need a car, we can't live without such things sometimes. So have a target IE increase date. Today I am here. When I have a loan, it will go down here, and then I want to make it higher than what I am today. That kind of a plan, if you have, you can. I mean, it will help you stay focused and work. Now, if IE ratio is only 30% or so, and you are 35 plus, and then you don't have loans and anything, then you need serious professional help. You need to find out what is wrong in your life. It could be a case of your situation is that you have to spend a lot. Then you're not able to invest enough and so on. So you need some kind of perspective on your life. You need to find out. You need to either you DIY it or you get professional help from a SEBI registered fee only investment advisor. There's a list in my website. You can have a look. If IE is low with or without loans, and you're less than 35, you're kind of young, 20s, early 30s, then it's okay. But have a plan to increase your income. That is, there can be a situation where you're not able to invest because your spending is high. Your spending level for a current level for your current income is quite high because of many reasons, personal reasons, health reasons, family problems, whatever it is. Have a target to increase your income. Push yourself harder in the weekends. Push yourself harder every day after coming home from work. Study something extra. Take a course. Develop a skill. Whatever. Do some extra work and get some higher income. This is more. This will. I mean, once you see that money flowing in, you will see that great focus coming in. It will change your life. So you have to. So it'll just tell you where you are and what you need to do. And please, again, let me reiterate, don't get too worried if your IE is low. It's only for motivation. If it is low, find a way to increase it. It's always possible to do it. Today, you have so many opportunities to do. You can do it. If it's high, you will have to strive and maintain it. It's my suggestion is, as soon as if you're a young earner watching this, have a very high investment IE ratio immediately after you start earning, because then you will get into relationships, you will have children, you may have to take on loans and whatever. So there will be a period where, although where your income may not increase too much, but then you have a lot of expenses, and then after that there will be some kind of a plateau in the expenses, and then your income will start increasing. You don't have to wait until then. The problem is many people wait until then to increase investments. That's a big risk. Don't do that. You may be out of work by then. So invest as much as possible before you get your loans. Then that will be a great foundation for your wealth. And if you're somebody who is striving for financial independence or early retirement, then you should be aiming at least 2 times your expenses. Make it 3 times your expenses if possible. This is the only reason I became financially independent, because I was able to keep my expenses low. I had no loans. I could invest significantly higher than that. So that's just for some perspective. Don't get too worried about it. If you're comfortable, you can share your IE ratio. I will soon start an anonymous poll that will give us a much better perspective of what's going on around us. So that's what I wanted to say. Check out my son's video. Bye-bye.